Are you facing difficulty in your systems engineering job regarding having too much work, or you're missing deadlines, or somehow too many people are coming to you with too many requests, and are you not sure what to say no to? Well, here's a tip that will enhance your systems engineering career that you won't read about in a textbook. But it helped me, it's going to help you, and you'll be able to get some semblance of your life back and have a bit of a personal life and get maybe not work-life balance, but at least work-life integration. Now, what is this tip? Setting healthy boundaries. And from the book from Zondervan, it's Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. They have a workbook for it, sold over 2 million copies. Knowing how to set healthy boundaries in your systems engineering career is going to help your career. It's going to ingratiate you with management, and it's going to help you not go crazy doing it. Now, if you're in an entrepreneurial situation, then you might need to work very long hours, and that's a little bit different. If you're just getting started in your own business, you still need some boundaries, but there might need to be some give and take. But if you're in an organization, a corporate situation, or government, setting boundaries is going to be the key to keeping your sanity, but also being a team player. Because when we're honest about what we can and cannot do in a certain time frame, then other people can work around it. And then if we lied to them and it didn't happen, then they have to figure out how to compensate at a late hour where, even if they didn't like it up front, really they appreciate knowing, what we can and can't deliver so they can work around it and have time to work around it. Here's a scenario. Let's say the boss comes to you and says, hey, you need to review this requirement specification, and I know it's about 60 pages, but we need it in a week. Okay, so it could be one of three things here. One, it could be doable in a week, okay? In which case, if we have some other projects that we can postpone, we can accept the task, as stated, and if we're pretty confident we can do the task, then we're good. But so that's the ideal case, number one. The second case is, okay, we could do it in a week, but we can't do it yet because the same boss, she gave us 3 other high priority tasks that are going to speak to our next 3 weeks of work, and we're not going to be able to touch this thing in 3 weeks. So then our estimate is a month. It's like, hey boss, I can do it in a month. The third option is that it will take a month to review. It's a tough requirement spec. There's a lot of technical content. The requirements are not very well written. Some are vague, and we might need to bring in some quality metrics just to see where we're at. It would literally take a month. Now, for the last two, we can tell the boss, we'll focus on the one where it can take a week, but we can't do it yet. Say, hey, boss, okay, I can see this is an important task. I can do it in a week, but you've given me these 3 other priorities, so I won't be able to touch it in another 3 weeks. Is there something you want to shift around? He or she could either say, you know what, do this first. This is more higher priority over these other 3. Or some combination of, okay, we'll do this task first and then do this requirements review. And if it'll take you a week, I'll expect it in 2 weeks or whatever it is. They could also say, you know what, I need it in a week, but I want you on these other tasks. Also, I'll find someone else. And a lot of times, they'll just walk away. Particularly as you advance in your career, management just wants to know the truth. What can you do? What can't you do? Because then, as is their job, they can find a different resource or do something else with the task. What they don't want you to do, with rare exception, is just burn yourself out, commit to something that's overcommitting, and then if you're late anyhow, well, you're penalized for being late, and also, you upset your family or your other personal situation by, working 90 hours in an 8-day period. So again, setting the boundary and being honest about what we can and can't do is going to start the right conversation to accept the tasking, to delegate it to somewhere else, to have your other tasking moved. Okay, and we can't move our own tasking. We should not be doing that. Our management would need to say, yeah, I want you to do this first, then that, then that. That way it's on them. And then we have more time for these other tasks that were probably just as important, perhaps. So if you have any questions, comment below. I do encourage this book. I've read it. I need to read it again at some point. It will help you be the team player, because then we're honest about what we can and can't do. Other people can basically solve their problem and work around it. And by doing this, we allow for that occasional emergency to come in, and it's not going to completely upset the apple cart. So, comment below what you think. If I'm way off base or if you heartily agree, let me know, and I'll see you in the next tip.